Professor, there's a big lizard back there, and he's heading this way. Now get aboard. It's Spears! There's no way through! There's no way through!
Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 11 of 31 Days of Monsters. Today we're talking about 1969's The Valley of Gwangi, a Ray Harryhausen film. And I'm just going to say this out front. This movie stinks. This movie should be much better. It's such high concept. It's cowboys versus dinosaurs. And it reads like a paint by number type of film. See, this is the movie we wanted. Look at that great movie poster. Okay, let me just blow that up. Yeah, so much. This is what we wanted. You know, look at all the action there. The cowboys, the tail of that thing. I mean, yeah, it's bigger than an Allosaurus, but okay. That's a great poster. And this is what we got. I want to like this movie, but as I said, it's sort of a paint by numbers film. You've got you've got your stalwart hero, your square jawed hero. You've got the girl interest. You got the pain in the ass kid. You got the befuddled scientist. You've got the pitch man. Richard Carlson's character, who is basically like Carl Denham in King Kong. It's like they took a bunch of different things from King Kong, put it in here, mashed it up with a Western, and they whiffed at the plate. You know, this is, if you ever heard me talk about King Kong or Kong versus Godzilla, it's a movie that made me so angry because it was such a T-ball hit. It was just laying there like a big watermelon. All you had to do was swing for it. And this is the same type of thing. This movie got started as an idea as a sequel to King Kong way back when, 1941, I think, where cowboys were going to go back to Skull Island and stuff. But they couldn't get the financing for it. But Willis O'Brien, who did King Kong, liked the idea of cowboys and the gorilla, so he brought that into Mighty Joe Young with his assistant, who was working with him then, was Ray Harryhausen. So I guess that idea, you know, stuck with Ray for a while, and they finally made it come to pass with the Valley of Gwangi. It was originally filmed in 1967. But because of post-production work and because Warner's Seven Arts did not have a lot of faith in this movie, It didn't get released till 1969, and it tanked at the box office. It didn't get any support from Warner Brothers, so it just died on the vine for them. We got James Franciscus in it as our stalwart hero. Of course, the ever dependable Richard Carlson is in it. And what's her name? Golan. Is it Gita Golan? Let me see here. It's something like that. Gita Golan. Anyway, she's forgettable, so it doesn't really matter. Of course, the effects are great. It's Ray Harryhausen, and that's, I think, why we think of this movie or remember this movie at all, because it's always fun to watch Ray's work. It always has heart. Look at this. It's a great sequence here. But the problem with this is that it takes forever to get to this kind of stuff. There's all this baggage to lead up to actually getting to see a Ray Harryhausen creation. And that's why we're tuning into this movie. I think this shot alone, the roping of the Allosaurus, took like 4 months. There's a lot that had to be done. They had what they called like a monster pole. It was attached to a Jeep, and that's what the cowboys would rope. And then, Ray would put the creature in over that. And then they would add the ropes around the creature and connect it to the straight line rope or the real rope. And that took some time. Ray was great with imagery. And you cared about his creatures. In fact, his little stop motion puppets had more personality than anybody else in this movie. Now, this is cool stuff. I love to see Ray's drawings, his production drawings of what he's imagining stuff to be. And it's a shame that a lot of it, is better in his mind, in his drawings, than in the final product. That's a great shot. The cowboy riding in, stabbing the Styracosaurus while it's fighting the Allosaurus. These great mushroom rocks back here, and pterodactyls flying. I mean, what 12-year-old kid wouldn't love that? Another great drawing. His figures are a little stiff, but his backgrounds and his dinosaurs are killer. So I always wondered what Gwangi was, the Valley of Gwangi. Well, evidently Gwangi is a Native American term, and in the reference I dug up, I never found out from which tribe. And it could just be, promotional stuff, who knows? But according to what I was able to dig up, Gwangi means lizard. So it's the Valley of the Lizards, which is kind of cool. So if you haven't seen this, and you have the time, watch it, because you have to complete your Ray Harryhausen collection. As a technician, his stuff's amazing, and always has heart. It's the live action stuff that you have to push through, which is a shame. But there's worse films out there. So, good morning, everybody. Let's see who's here. Our usual cast of characters, it appears. Devil Flyer is here. Monster Fan, Dr. Mask's Retro Elixir, George Travelos. After this review, George, are you sure you want me to do Clash of the Titans? JP Roca asks, what's good? Ray Harryhausen's animation. How about that? Hyper Kaiju, Rob Younce is here. Pop Culture Avenger says good morning. Fearless Freep is here. Let's see. George Travelos has never seen this movie. It's a cool fight between the Allosaurus, Gwangi, and an elephant in this, which is really neat. You know you're in trouble when you hire actors that you have to dub. Uh, it's never a good sign. Skull Nasher says that poster is so cool. Yeah, that poster is amazing. Who wouldn't want to see that movie? Devil Flyer says it's still tanking. If you could be in one movie, past or present, which would it be? Do you mean as a participant in the movie, like I would be a character in that movie, or do you mean like if I had a chance to act in that movie, what movie would it be? Please elaborate. Rick Saylor is here. Good morning. Prater7 is here. Dr. Mask reminds us all to hit the like button, like the producers of this movie hit the scotch after the premiere. That's right. Like Ron Burgundy, you know, I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotchy, scotch. Prater7 says, I watched Tarantula after the show yesterday morning. I really liked it. Good. Yeah, I like Tarantula better than this movie. Here we go. This would have made a better comic. They actually did a comic. Dell did it, and had the movie poster as the cover. I don't know who did the interiors though, because I don't have it, but I'd be curious to see what it looks like. You know, those Dell comics were hit and miss. I mean, you could get Alex Toth, or you could get some, you know, some hack doing it. So I don't know who did this one. Liquid Blake, Harryhausen's work is still amazing to watch. It is. It's charming. His characters act, you know, almost pantomime, which I love. Tall, Dark, and Gruesome disagrees with me, I think. My favorite Harryhausen movie by far. This one is your favorite by far. Interesting. Mine is The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Statistical Zero is here. Good morning. So as Travelos reminds us, today is Monday, which means we get a new update for Alien Alamo. Can't wait. Yep. After I get done here, I go to the gym, I come home, I shower up, and I write up my update for all my wonderful backers. So you know exactly where we're at on the project. And we're getting down to crunch time, folks. We really are. I forget what page I'm working on right now, but I think I'm down to like 12 pages left for the story. Greg is working on colors. He needs to catch up because I'm ahead on that. But while he's working on that, and I finish the last page, then I will write the dialogue and finalize all that dialogue as a script. Get that out to my proofreader, and then off it goes to with the color files off to Carlos to get lettered. And then we actually have something to put together. We got files to put together. So lots to do. Miles to go before I sleep, as Robert Frost once said. Fearless Freep says he saw this as a late night feature. I thought the Cowboys vs. Monsters was a great idea. Didn't believe the pterodactyls could fly off with that gal. uh, like I said, this is high concept. I mean, who doesn't say cowboys versus dinosaurs? How could that be not be a great idea? How could King Kong fighting Godzilla not be a great idea? It's so high concept. The problem is when, smarty pants get in the way of trying to overthink things and add too much shit. Keep it simple, people. When you get something like that, that's so high concept. Give it a twist, but don't complicate it. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Oh, Don Perkins is here. Hello, Don. Always like every Graham video. Well, thank you, my friend. That is appreciated. Don't overthink it, Graham. Take your pick. Well, I got to have a parameter. I have to understand what it is I'm picking. I'm a character in a movie, or I get to play as an actor in a movie. And since this is the 31 Days of Monsters, I'm going to limit it to sci-fi and monster movies. Rick Saylor wants to know, Graham, what, if any, movies did you get inspiration for Return to Monster Island? Well, the whole Monster Island thing was inspired, of course, by King Kong, by Destroy All Monsters, the Toho thing, and the 50s and early 60s Marvel Jack Kirby giant monster comics. That's what inspired that. And then I mixed it in with things that I like, naval flying, military aspects, and I combined all those things that I really liked into, what became Monster Island and Return to Monster Island, and eventually Escape from Monster Island. Tarantula was very well acted too. You can definitely see the difference between old B movies and modern B movies. Today's are a shame. Yeah, you know what particularly I liked in Tarantula is when there was the busybody guy at the hotel who listens in on the calls, and he says to John Agar, "Are you suggesting that I was listening in on your phone calls?" And Agar turns and looks at him, and he looks at him and goes, "Yeah." He just flat out says it and smiles. I just love that scene. It seems very natural. He says it in a friendly and joking way too. And then when he meets the girl, the busybody guy says, "Well, aren't you two going to introduce yourself?" And the two look at each other and they look back at him and they go, "No." It's like they know who this dude is. Dell Star Trek, story-wise, is definitely a miss. Yeah, that artwork is great though. And those Dell, I forget who the Italian artist was who used to draw those Dell Star Trek stories. And when he first started on those comics, Star Trek hadn't aired, not in Italy at least, and he had no references. So the Enterprise has rockets coming out of the nacelles and out of the hangar deck. Their outfits, the jackets they wear and the phasers, were all wrong. But then later on, I think Len Wein came in and was working for them and got them on model again. "12 pages left." Leroy, good morning. Where did we go? This damn thing always skips on me. Cowboys versus Aliens wasn't amazing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's another example of a high concept, should be a slam dunk, and they mess it up. That movie was absolutely awful. I'd watch Gwangi over and over before I'd watch Cowboys and Aliens. They had all the special effects they could use. They had Harrison Ford, a top-notch star, and yet they still managed to tank it. Kings tonight should be fun. The Kings are always fun. Graham, did you see Ethan's Daily Wire interview? I did. I thought Ethan did great on that. I thought he really defined, what Comicsgate is really about. I thought it was an excellent job. Quite the ambassador. Frockoff Felger Carb is here. He says, hail all. Good morning. Monsters or sci-fi? Okay. Well, then it has to be my favorite movie. I'd want to be in The Thing from Another World, 1951. I can be an extra. Yep. That's it. I'd want to be one of the Air Force guys in The Thing from Another World. That part where the busybody starts to ask the main guy and the girl if they're going to introduce themselves to each other was another great moment. Yeah, I just mentioned that too. Yeah, that's great. I love that. Oh, George. What is better, Clash of the Titans or Gwangi? Well, I'm going to go with Gwangi because it's got horses and guns. I used to joke to my wife, if she wanted me to watch a rom-com or something like that, I said, well, every movie's got to have one of these three things. It has to have horses or guns or nudity. If it has a naked woman riding on a horse shooting guns, that's an Academy Award movie. And Julie would roll her eyes. Rick pumping the Monster Island series. He highly recommends them. I appreciate that, Rick. The hardcover versions are still available. They're in demand on Kickstarter. Ominous Press ran that campaign, so I believe they're still available there. The original 1998 comic that I published under Compass Comics is available through the Alien Alamo campaign, which the link is in the description of today's show. So if you haven't gotten it and you want to get that, you can do so. They're very limited. I only had a few cases left of those. But these are the originals from 1998, and they've never been opened. Is that the same Allosaurus model from 50 million BC? I don't think so. I think Ray created a new one for this. Skip Edwards art. Good morning. Gwangi was good. I loved Mysterious Island in 61. I haven't seen Mysterious Island probably since I was a kid. That's one I'd like to revisit. Prater 7 has to roll. You have a great day, Prater 7. Black Scorpion 57 was good. Yeah, that's not a Harryhausen. That's a Willis O'Brien who did that. Willis O'Brien, of course, was Ray's mentor, who did King Kong. Blood, Babes, and Bullets. Yep. Pretty much, and horses. Liquid Blake says, my favorite work of Ray's is this Smilodon versus Troglodyte fight. As a kid, that captivated me. Hyper Kaiju would love to see a continuation of Joe Frankenstein someday. That's coming. I have a publishing plan for Compass Comics, and Joe Frankenstein is on that list, so don't you worry about that. George says, ooh, good one, Hyper Kaiju. I like Joe Frankenstein. Oh, Rob went to the Colonial Theater. That's where they filmed The Blob. This past Sunday for Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, they had lots of Blob movie info, including the director paid $75 for 3 days use of the theater. Outstanding. And how was watching A&C Meet Frankenstein on the big screen? I'll bet it was awesome. One thing that would pop out is when, Glenn Strange as Frankenstein is laying down and he moves his neck and you can see the bolt, start to come out a little bit. War of the Gargantuas, great scary Toho film. I couldn't agree more, and that's why War of the Gargantuas is Halloween Eve, October 30th. Better than you can imagine. I can imagine. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, I wish one of my local places would put that movie up. I'd be there in a heartbeat. James Franciscus was a great actor, died too soon. He did have a lot of personality. I liked that guy. I loved him in Beneath the Planet of the Apes. He played a blind lawyer like Matt Murdock, too, in a TV series. But I can't remember what that was called. But yeah, and he did die young. I can't remember if it was a heart attack or if it's cancer. I think he was a smoker. Okay, let's see here. I think I covered everybody. Okay, tomorrow we're going back to straight up horror because we're going to do the 1977 Louis Jourdan BBC production of Count Dracula. This is probably the most accurate account on film that's been done yet. And it's going to be a cool one to talk about. It's available on Amazon Prime, so you have until tomorrow morning to catch it. But it's free on Amazon Prime. It's a bit long because it did run. They did break it up as a mini series, so I think it's 2.5 to maybe 3 hours. Can't remember, something like that. It's pretty long, so you might want to break it up too, because we'll get into that tomorrow. But check it out on Amazon Prime, and we will be back here tomorrow morning to talk about that. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in to day 11 of 31 Days of Monsters. Tonight, the Comicsgate Kings will be on Ethan's channel. So if you have the time this evening, tune into that. It should be fun. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye now.